All right, guys. So I'm back once again. And I know if you look in Money Talks, you probably see about 3 or 4 videos with Rachel. But I got her back this time. This is the kickoff for the careers, business, growing your income piece of Money Talks, where I talk about budgeting, talk about investing, but a lot of data, a lot of things you guys have been saying is, how do I make more income? Where can I make more income? What does that look like? Some of these opportunities may be for you, some of these opportunities may not, but it's just more to help you understand what's the potential, what do people do, but then as you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I grow my income, understand what's the work really involved to get there. Not, I know one of my big hard challenges is, hey, it's hard work to do. It's hard work to be successful. What does hard work look like? Well, in some of these conversations, we're going to start trying to break that down. So Rachel, she, well, no secret, if you guys seen me, you likely seen me with her husband. That's my line brother, but Rachel's usually somewhere in the photo or right next to us. And I've watched Rachel since college. When she started It Works, it's been 7 years now.
7 years.
Understanding what she went through day by day, how did she grind it out? And mind you, she was working, had a kid, got married. It wasn't just an accident or coincidence that the business took off when it took off. But if you look at her story, a lot of things look like blessings at certain times in her life, but it was really results of consistent hard work and commitment. So I wanted to first go through, kind of bring you up to speed of kind of where she is, because I mean, she's done a lot with It Works. Like, if there is a It Works, I know it's an It Works magazine. She's been in that too, but she's talked the talk, she's walked the walk, and she constantly has evolved, and she really pours into sharing her story. But just like me, want you to know you have the potential to really be great and have the income and have the kids. Her life is challenging still. It doesn't mean because she has a little bit of money, life ain't challenging. We got different problems. That's what I like to say. I'd rather have these problems than I had the other ones. So, Rachel, start us off. Kind of tell us what kind of brought you in. Talk a little bit about It Works. Get us started with that piece.
Yeah, so wow, thank you so much, John. It's so special to me. We go back, we go way back.
Way back.
Way back, homies for life. So what an honor for you to even want me to be on this platform that you've created. I'm so proud of you. Okay, listen, it's I consider it an honor to be here. So yeah, I started It Works 7 years ago. I was I wasn't looking for It Works. I didn't know that I wanted to do something like It Works. Actually, I didn't want to do something like It Works. When I was invited to that party, I was just going to support. Like, that's what we did. Like, we were just all in a circle. And so we just supported each other. And so I was just going to support. Breon wasn't even, which is your line brother, he wasn't even supportive. He told me don't do it. He told me don't put it on my body. It was going to kill me. And I did it anyway, just being that supportive friend. I wanted to try it out. When I got there, I heard that the products were all natural. They were plant-based. And then I heard it was a Christian-based company. And when I heard it was a Christian-based debt-free company, something clicked inside of me, because it was like, I need just a little more Jesus. I'm out here ratchet in the streets. Like, I could do well at getting some more Jesus in my life.
On Friday, confess on Sunday.
Listen, Friday and Saturday, and then
right.
Sunday,
back in the house. Just go ahead and charge it.
Back in the house of the Lord. Okay, listen, it was real. So I was like, this is cool. The products are all natural. I love the fact I wasn't really even focusing on my health for real like that anyway. So it made me be more health conscious. It was so forgiving. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to try it out. And I jumped in. The thing that really sold me is when I went to a conference and they did praise and worship. You hear a lot of people who say they're a Christian-based company, but they don't reverence God. Like, they don't actually outwardly reverence God. And so when I went there and they were doing praise and worship, I was like, oh yeah, I love Jesus for real. And so I was sold from there. And then hearing the stories about people who were making stupid money, it was like, all right, cool. And I think the thing that I love the most, John, is, I have a master's in professional counseling. And so I love helping people. It's what I did. It's what I went to school for.
Right.
And even though I had a master's position,
Mhm.
I wasn't getting paid no
Right.
real money as a
Right.
single mom. I mean,
Right.
come on now, my student loan, what they wanted from me from student loans was like rent. And my son was in private school. It was like, how is this life? Like, this isn't life. Um, so that was kind of the start of everything and why I said yes. And, I've been here 7 years, so I got a little bit of every story.
Yeah.
Been a top income earner for 6 years, which is insane to me. I consider that a blessing from somebody who didn't know what they were doing at
Mhm.
all. And to be in this position to where, I mean, Jesus, God He made room for me. I guess that's
Right.
it. As I kept going, He just showed me what it is that I was supposed to be doing. So, put the right people in my life and, all kinds of things. So much growth. Just the person you become as you keep going, right? You keep going. So, yeah, I don't know. What part do you want to know? But that's just the kind of the beginning of
Yeah.
how I started with It Works.
Yeah, so I know a lot of things. Like you said, your boyfriend at the time, now husband, was like, "No, don't do it." So obviously, I mean, you've spoken 7 years. You've spoken to so many people about this opportunity, and I'm pretty sure that comes up. Hey, this person is saying no, or this. You know how it is. You start a business, you're all excited about it, but maybe the people around you, maybe they've heard bad things or whatever, because it's a part of the network marketing field. So understanding, hey, if I'm in network marketing, it's top down mechanics, it's pyramid scheme, all these different things. Understanding, all right, first, what is the actual business? Then what do I need to do to be successful in this business if I'm going to commit? Obviously, there's usually a fee up front, but tactically, what do I need to do?
I think the biggest misconception is somebody said this to me yesterday. They were like, "Is that one of those pyramid schemes?" I was like, "What is a pyramid scheme? Like,
Right,
what is it?" Most people only say that because they've heard someone else say it.
right.
Like because your mama called it a pyramid scheme or your friend, and they're not even knowledgeable about what network marketing is even about. And I
Mhm.
think that's probably the most frustrating thing is how much people don't know and how much they're missing out on the opportunity because they have no idea. Now, when it comes to network marketing, and this is something that my husband and I are just now learning as we grow more maturely in the network marketing field, like the unilevel and like things like that. Like there's different companies have different compensation plans,
Right,
right?
right.
Because when you get people who are network marketing professionals and may be looking for something different, needing to be able to speak that language, but most people have no idea pyramid schemes are legal. They're not legal. You can go to jail for a pyramid scheme. Like that's not even a real thing. But when you ask, is it a pyramid? Yes, everything in life is a pyramid.
Mhm.
My marriage is a pyramid. Okay.
Right,
Like everything in life is a pyramid. Um, your job is a pyramid. The only difference is you'll never be the CEO.
right.
I can't, I mean, I can be at the top, not the CEO per se, but I can make as much as the person that's number one. I can make as much money as they can make, where you
That's
will never make as much money as the CEO makes in this position at your
right,
job.
right.
So I think that's probably the biggest thing. But startup costs is, I mean, yes, it is an investment because it is a business. It's
Right.
not a job. You're not just getting hired. And I think about it like this, like when you get hired for a job, you might as well see it as an investment as well because
Right.
most jobs you have to buy clothes, you have to have gas, you have to be able to get to and from there, you have to whatever, you have childcare, so there are investments that you have to make in order to start a job, right? So it's the same thing when it's your business. Your initial investment is just not clothes, it's not um transportation or whatever, but it is initial investment. So I love that people have to invest in with It Works specifically. Normally it's $99 to start. But what I love is that we actually give you a way to not to make $140 profit right away.
Mhm.
Because of everything that's going on, we're essentially almost all digital. Like everything we do is digital. We don't carry inventory or anything like that. The only products that we get are the products that we use, or if we want to sell samples, we may get products. But outside of that, we have a simple sample system, which comes with an app that's all taken care of. All we pay for our website is $20 a month. That includes a state of the art app. So we run our business from an app, which is insane. If somebody wants a sample from us for our famous skinny coffee, right? If somebody wants some coffee, we literally just go to our app and we have credits, and It Works does the shipping. You know, when our customers purchase from us, It Works does the shipping, and so that's something that as a mom of three boys, um, I need that in my life. So that's something that I absolutely love. So the initial cost is $100 to start, and to run your business is about $120 based on what you want. Some people invest more into their business, hence us. We invest more into our business monthly, and guess what?
You get fruit from that.
We get fruit from that. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing to understand is don't, I say it like this. If the person that you're taking advice from is not stable minded or stable in that field, you
Mm-hmm.
probably shouldn't listen to them.
Right.
You know, that's
Right.
like me talking to someone about investing, but you don't have any investors.
Right.
You just
Don't
tried
do
it. You know what
that.
I'm saying? You tried to invest. Why would
Right.
I listen to you and invest my money based on your opinion? It's
Right.
not smart. It's not smart. And so be mindful of, like, when it comes to this, you have to, the credibility of the person that you're talking to matters.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely interesting, and I definitely don't want to berate, but I um I understand, like you said, it's a business. So I think if you understand, if you're going to do network marketing or anything that is a business that is handled, you have to first understand this is a business. This is your business. So I know it works. They give you the marketing. They set you up with a website. They set you up with a
Mhm.
few different things to help get you going, and that's really helpful. If anyone's ever tried to run a business, how helpful
Yeah,
that is that you can have that ready made at your fingertips to pass to someone.
yeah,
But you have to approach this as a business. Even even your job, you know what I mean? For me, I've always worked my jobs as a business. I've gotten income increases because I'm coming to you saying, hey, Jonathan provides this service. You guys want this. The market pays this. So if you want Jonathan, this is where it's gonna go. And so I got and whatever, saying wherever the job is or whatever I'm doing, this is a business. This is
yeah,
a business transaction. It's not personal. It's not personal when they let you go. It's not personal when they promote you. It's all about the business. And
yeah,
so many people they're trying to look at, okay, this is a great opportunity because I mean I've seen the compensation chart. You promoted several of your videos on it and flowing through it. It's great potential. And if you're looking at something, you're like, they're making money, but I don't quite understand. Like you said, are you
yeah,
talking to somebody who, number one, has done it, meaning they're already making the money you're trying to make? So not only can they walk you through how do you make money, but they can also tell you, hey, this is how I became successful. It doesn't
yeah,
mean you're going to follow their blueprint and be successful the same way because you have to find your way about things. But
it's
there are
true.
some best practices you can pick up in that. So you have to
Yeah,
consider who you're talking to. The second thing is at least this is what I'm getting from you. Everybody can't catch the vision. So everybody can't see I know you personally, but one thing that I think me and you resonate with is we don't look at, oh, this pays 250,000 a year or 150 a year. Hey, this has a lot of freaking income potential if I work it right and I do what I'm supposed to do this way. So we have our daily practices, we have our gratitude, we have our exercise, we have all these different measures in place so that the more I work my system, the income will just drop down. I'm not worried
right.
about what I'm running into. So it is a business. And when you talk about the business aspect and the reality, yeah, the income will come, but you have to put in the work. So talk a little bit about which may be far removed, but going back to what would you say was the breakout point for you? So this was a completely new idea for you. This whole concept was new for you. So where was it that you're like, okay, I paid my money, I'm starting, and what things did you do? What things kind of tripped you up? To what point did you say, hey, I get it now. I know I can make this happen. You know what I mean? Because first you're going based off, hey, I think I can do it. But there's always a point in the process where you're like, you know what? I get it now. Let's go. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what's going on.
Yeah. So, okay, I have several moments because you're going to continue to need them because your why evolves. You know what I'm saying? So, why I'm here now, 7 years later, is not why I was here at month 6, you know? But the first time that it hit me, like for real, hit me, well, number one, I had made $400 in my first 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, wait a second. So like my work ethic writes my paycheck. And for somebody who was very busy, okay, listen, I had a man, I was a single mom, I was in grad school part-time, I worked a full-time job as a mental health case manager, I was head of technical services at my church, I was doing hair on the side, I was very active in my sorority, like I had a lot going on. But I realized that I just work hard. Like I've been a hard worker my entire life, and I'm the kind of person that'll just figure it out. Like I'm gonna figure it out, right? And
I'll get you and climb out.
Yeah. And so I think once I realized that was probably the first thing, because it was so many different ways that I could get paid that there was always a way that I could win. So I loved that because I mean, it's always ways, whether I'm selling product on hand, or I am getting the unlimited weekly bonuses, or I'm helping somebody else promote. But the light bulb went off for me when I realized that helping other people changed my pockets. That's probably when the first light bulb went off, because for me, I mean, I have my master's was to help people. That's what I love to do. I wanted to help people, and I get my rocks off by helping people. Like that gets me going inside. And my friend, her son is autistic, and she was one of my first distributors, and her son was having some behavior issues. He's autistic, and he already was going to therapy, but he needed behavior therapy on top of it. But she wasn't able to cut back her hours to take him to behavior therapy because she needs the money to pay her bills. And like a light bulb went off for me and was like, ding, ding, ding. If you help your friend make money so that she can take her son to therapy and be a mom, not only will it help her, but it'll help you. And that got me, because as a mental health case manager, there were times when I would put kids up in, I don't know, a shelter for the night because they got kicked out, or I would stay late over work. I'm salary, and they never came to me the next day and like, oh my God, Rachel, here's a $100 bonus. And that never happened. I could help someone else in any capacity, but it never touched my paycheck, right? So this was like a ding, 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 ding for me. This is where it was like, okay, you help other people, your whole life will never be the same. And so that's what I decided I was going to do. Everybody that comes across my path, my goal is to help them change their life. And sometimes it is just, and I know that this is a big thing for me though, John. I realize that when I give to other people, sometimes it doesn't come back in the same spot.
No.
You know, just because I plant a seed in your life, I may harvest somewhere else. But I have to just be mindful that I give to give, and I know where my help comes from. So realizing that God has my reward somewhere else as I give wholeheartedly of myself. So giving to her may have caused someone else to come into my business, you know, just genuinely helping other people change their life. And so, of course, a growing process, but through my customers and distributors. So that probably was the big point for me, because as I genuinely started helping people change their life, my life changed. And I mean my life changed, like never before.
Now, granted, I help people, you know what I mean? We all, like, when I got out of school, I'm like, hey, what do you want to do, Doctor? Oh, I just want to help people and I want to make a good income. And you hit on something I just don't want to speed past too quickly. Even as we talk, and I talk a lot about it in Money Talks, but I kind of subtly started to shift the tone, because I'm like, so often when we're trying to solve a financial problem, we look at how can we cut back? But we don't always look at, hey, how can I actually
increase,
explode my income? Not
yeah,
let me go get $9 now. That's cool for, you know what I mean,
yeah,
a couple months or something like that if you're really trying to patch up a job. That's a band-aid. But how can
yeah,
you really repair yourself? And what gets lost in translation is your expenses can be fixed. Your income can
and
actually
grow.
be
Absolutely.
unlimited. You have an
Hmm.
unlimited potential to make whatever income. So if you have, like you said, you got a master's in counseling. There's a lot of people who have masters in counseling, don't have the house you got, don't have the assets you got, don't, you know what I'm saying, live the life you got. I mean, I got an MBA. A lot of, you know what I'm saying, people, yeah, you complain about my MBA, because you got the MBA and you thought as soon as you put that MBA, that master's behind you,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna come in the door. No, we put work with the MBA in the direction of, for me, finances. For you, it was you connected with It Works. You connected with a business that you resonate with, and that business
Yeah.
pays in multiple different ways. But
Right.
your core passion for why you're doing it is what takes your work ethic through all of the ranks.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, no matter if you want to help people, I don't care what you want to help people, but the market will tell you if you want to help people and if you're in this field, you need to be doing X in order to help people like you want to help them with your passion, but at the
Get
same
paid more. Absolutely.
you can make a good income. You
Yes.
cannot. There's the idea that, oh, I'm gonna help people, so I got to take a pay cut. Well,
Yes.
no, that God
True.
didn't set you up for that one.
He
God wants
didn't.
you to have abundance. God
Yes.
wants you
You're
to have
right.
a lot of different. He wants you to have more than you even want to have for yourself. That's real love. I want you to be better than what you even think for yourself.
That's
I
good,
want to
John.
put you in an opportunity, but I'm not putting you in an opportunity if you're, number one, not prepared for it, number one, not ready to commit, and number three, you're not gonna go through. And that's what will help me. So you made a couple $100 on that first one. That kind of made a light bulb go off. But how did you kind of work through the challenges? We talked about mindset. So you're already in a new space. You're always, and I know you teach a lot of your team. Hey, you need to change your mindset. Hey, you need to grow your mindset. Hey, you need to step and do different behaviors, develop different healthier habits,
Yeah.
and that will transform the way you grow. So what are things that you would say you had to do that changed the way you operated so that you could be now successful?
Yes. So number one, hashtag your circle matters. Like this is my biggest thing. This I'm serious. Like this is
Man,
real.
I
You
said it.
gotta
You
start.
said
You
it so
gotta
many
start
times.
becoming friends with people who are beyond you and people who make you who being in a room with them makes you want to become better, and not that they minimize or make you feel less than, because being in the right room, they'll make you want to, they'll pique your interest and make you want to desire to know more, so being my husband and I have just been blessed to be able to be in the room of billionaires, like
Yeah.
being on islands and staying the night with our CEO and his wife, and they've encouraged us to level up, right? So
Right.
encouraged us to spend money on experiences opposed to spending money on clothes and things,
Absolutely.
encouraged us to pay off our debt, encouraged us to make good investments, and so even like, if you're gonna do Disney, like I don't know, that just popped in my head. So Brianna and I, when we took the kids and we went with our friend and we actually did we did the experience where we had a concierge, like somebody who took us around Disney, and we did all four parks in one day. Like it's crazy, like things that I
Mhm.
would have never even thought about, right? So your circle matters. Your circle matters. Your circle matters, and I think that's one of the biggest things for me, John. Like we created a circle on our squad where you're gonna want to level up. Like you
Yeah.
want to level up. You want more, and you had whatever you decide to join. You better make sure that it's somebody who's going to love and support you as you grow,
Mhm.
because you've been you for however many years that you've been
Right.
you, right? So you have to be in a space where it's safe to
Mhm.
unbecome,
Yeah.
and become the actual authentic you that you were supposed to be, which it can be very uncomfortable, because I mean, you know, everybody know you from back then, like, girl, that's how you always been.
Right.
Like, woo, you probably don't need to be in my circle right now, because
Right.
who I've always been is not who I was supposed to be,
Right.
and it's not who I'm gonna be anymore. And so, like, you have to make sure that you're in that space where you can grow. And I just love that what we do in network marketing, what we do at It Works, what we do on my team, is we put you in a place to where you're gonna make money as you figure it out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, you're gonna figure it out. You know, you're figuring it out at school. They're not paying you unless
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, there's ways, but you know, that's not a normal concept. You know, you
Right.
gotta wait your 4 years to get your
Right.
reward, you know.
Right.
So in this time of becoming someone better in your mind, so hashtag your circle matters. So but your circle will put you in a place to where, like, just like I told you, I just got off a conference. I got off
Mhm.
a conference because of my circle. You know, the person who introduced this to me is somebody who I put in my circle, who has made me level up mentally. And when I level up mentally, I can see things from a different lens and from a different perspective, where I can live in a place of abundance. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I can live in a place. I remember when I told people that I was going to be a millionaire. I said, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be a millionaire. And people were looking at me like, girl, where? Like, where? Okay. And then turn 30, I was like right there, right there of
Right.
earning $1 million, and it works. And then lo and behold, did it, right? So you have to put yourself in a position to where you don't go to people to validate your feelings. You
Right.
know, so if John is like, you're telling us, okay, you got to increase your income, and no one around you is increasing their income in a smart way where they're not
Right.
actually
Or the way
draining
that you
themselves,
want to do.
or the way that you desire to do. And
Right.
sometimes people don't even know what they desire because they've
Right.
never been exposed to it, you know, or exposed to it in the right way. So if you're in that place, and if no one else around you is doing that, then that might not be your circle if you
Right.
desire more, you know, because I always tell people, what's your and then what? And if you look at beyond the debt, if you look at beyond, and that's hard, John. And that's where
Yeah.
journaling comes into place, because it's hard to look beyond the debt. I remember I've had several conversations, and this is something I work on daily. I'm like, there is nothing beyond the debt. I remember when I first started It Works, it was, y'all ain't never getting these student loans. Like, you're just not getting them. I'm just gonna die,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But like, that was the place that I was. But when I spoke and I came into a new room, it made
Right.
me level up. And I was like, what? No, we pay that off so we can be free, so we
Right.
can buy islands, so we can
Right.
take our family on vacation, so we can pay for our parents' home, so we can, you know, it just puts you in a whole different mindset to where you desire more for your family and you desire more for yourself. So
Yeah.
your circle and your mind. So that's personal development. Reading books about how to become a better you, and things that actually speak to where you desire to be.
Right. No, it's so good. Something that honestly reminded me of the idea that really kind of spearheaded this thing was, I mean, you got the master's degree, I got the master's degree. We went through the student loans. Most everybody, colleagues, people we went to school with, they got student loans. And the thing that I've always seen, like I said, it goes back to the idea that how am I going to try to get this done with my income? And oftentimes, a large percent of the time, you're like, hey, you're not paying off 150,000 plus in student loans, and you're married and you got kids, or you're single and you got kids, and you make $70,000 a year. It's not going to happen, mathematically speaking, reality speaking. It's not going to happen.
Unless
But
you move into a shack, you know what I'm saying?
right,
Moved in
I
with your
mean,
mama, don't spend no money,
you got to
you
live with
know?
mom and owe her one for
Yeah,
but that takes a pride hit. But if you look at
yeah.
the equation, that's how we look at the equation. That's our default. But then if you sit back and say, okay, I got 150,000, I got 100,000, I got triple figures of student loans. How do I do this? Why do doctors not be so worried about their student loans that they're racking up? Why do dentists not be so worried about the student loans that rack up? Because yeah, they say, hey, I'm going through the medical practice when they're in their training right before they go. They're like, oh, I'm making 50, 60. But after I get done, I'm gonna be making 300. I'm gonna be making 400. And so when they look at the long view, they're saying, okay, if I'm making 400, I owe 150. Oh yeah, I cut back. You know what I mean? For a little
Hmm.
bit, I put 150 here, pay my taxes, and I still got 100, 200 to have a good life. I can invest, I can do
Right,
stuff, but I knocked it all out and I'm done. So it was worth.
right.
Whereas The average person, we got 50, 60,000, 70,000 in income. You got $100,000 problem. You haven't even gotten to the house yet. You might not be at the house, or you're trying to get a house. And then once you get a house, you just added 250 average to the 150. So now you're 400 grand in debt and you got $60,000, $70,000. So you're trying to figure out, how do I make this happen? And the answer to the equation is, I have to increase my income. I have to. You know what I mean? If I want to travel like I want to, do what I want to, have freedom, live in abundance, you have to increase your income. Like I'm a content person. I'm a gracious person. But Lord, you ain't enough of contentment in the world that's gonna pay off 70,000 and 300, because it's gonna take you 8-9 years. You have to get, okay, I gotta increase this income so I can make a healthy plan and do all the things I want to do and make it. And that might, again, take an investment up front. But to your point, it takes the circle, because if nobody around you is making 150,000, nobody around you is working from home, nobody around you has control of their schedule, how are they going to provide you answers to questions that they don't know? You don't know.
And let me say this, John, because a lot of times what happens in this situation, because your circle is not doing that, when you actually go into it, you get so discouraged because you're looking at your regular circle or your previous circle. And I'm not saying you have to knock them out your circle. I have a lot of people who are still in my circle who may not necessarily have me leveling up, you know what I'm saying? And in those areas, right? In the financial aspect. So, you'll go back to them and you get discouraged, and then you quit, and then you still look like them, and your finances still look like theirs, and you're wondering why, but it's because you took advice from somebody who's not where you want to be. So I think that's important to say too, because even when you decide you're going to make a decision, because I know a lot of people on here may have tried, but what you can't do is you can't go back to your circle. You can go back to them and ask for them to jump in, try your products or try your services, but at the end of the day, to support, right? And that's merely, and I always tell them this, their support is #nice but not needed. It really is. Like, it's nice but not needed. And if they don't buy anything, or if they never support you, you can still make millions. And you have to just be willing to go through the learning curve of learning something new. And so I love that. We have a system to where we teach people how to build their network as soon as they come in. As soon as they come in, we have a very simple way to build your network so that you're not even really concerned. I told them, if I was worried about friends and family to be where I am today, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here. And I just told them last week, maybe about who's on my team, about 5 people that I knew before. And here we are with a team of over 1,000. Like, you would never think that was possible when people have that mindset of, if my friends and family don't support me, who will?
Somebody else's friends and family, your new friends and family. Your new friends will become your family. It's always
somebody. It's billions of people,
Yeah, it's way more people that are looking for the opportunity, that want to do it, that just want somebody to show them how, and that's okay. But again, I'm the same way. Yeah, I don't discard any friends that I have or people I talk to, because I love them and I love them well, but I love them in the space that they're at. If I'm in a marriage space and I'm, trying to grow my marriage, I'm probably going to be hanging around a little bit more married people who have done this, who might have some similarity, who might understand my challenge. I can't talk to a guy who is single now, who doesn't even like, commitment, doesn't want to be married, and expect that I'm going to get great marriage advice for somebody who's never done it, who doesn't even understand the responsibility.
Or isn't doing it well.
Right. Or isn't doing it well. So really understanding how you develop your circle, what you're going to put in. So skills. Now we talk about, it's sales involved. It's a conversation. To me, sales has always been a conversation. I'm a people person, so I don't care what I am. If I believe in a product, I can sell or anything. But every sale is more, a conversation. So when you talk about, that learning curve, the reality is, most people don't come in equipped skill-wise to develop the success they need. So how do you walk through and kind of talk through a little bit of the skills that do need, just besides mindset change, that you will have to try to adjust and strengthen to make you a little bit more stronger in this business.
To be honest, I don't know. It just might just be our squad and how we get down, but we have created. Um, it's a fail-proof system. I've been doing this for a long time, and I didn't come in as somebody with no type of mental capacity, and so I already had that master's level um, experience. And so when they come in, you honestly just have, it's our mantra. You just have to be brave. You have to be patient, and you have to be consistent. Like that's it. You just have to be brave, patient, and consistent. And so you get on the trainings, you get on the things that are available to you.
Right.
You ask questions, and sometimes you have to cast down your pride and be willing to ask for help. We always tell them like the only way you truly grow in this is to be okay with receiving help from somebody else. You
Mhm.
know, there's somebody who's went before you. Same thing you just said about your circle matters. Like I have to be willing to ask somebody about finances. I've never been there before. I have
Right.
to be willing to ask somebody about marriage. I've never been there before. And so it's the same thing when it comes to doing business, but we desire to help you. And so you have to take people for their word, and everything that you remember from your past, like people stabbing you in the back, people just be
Mhm.
out here to use you and things like that. You have to put yourself in a position to know that we genuinely want to see you succeed, and it's not to necessarily grow our paycheck, because we understand where our help comes from. And I'm grateful that I finally realized that, because listen,
Right.
um once you release that, you just able to have fun, right? You're able to have fun because I know as I sow into you that I'll reap regardless, because that's just a biblical principle. Giving, it'll come back to you. Good measures pressed down, shaken together. So the way that I give, if I can give to you, knowing that eventually that seed may grow in you or it may grow somewhere else, um, it puts me in a position to really give to you. But anyways, so the biggest thing for it, you just got to come and be willing. It's really not anything about skills. I don't know about any other network marketing company, but the way it works is functioning with the training. You got to be willing to show up. You
Mhm.
show up. Events are so important. You show up. We used to say you show up to go up. Like either
And
the room needs
that's a
you.
part of investment.
Right.
So
Either the room needs you or you need the room,
right.
period. And so you come in there and you get exactly what you need in order to feel the confidence to go back out and do what it is that you desire to do, right? To be confident in making the phone call, to be confident in reaching out to the person that you're afraid of, or not knowing that that person is actually praying for a way, right? That person is praying and they
Right.
don't know what it's going to look like. And a lot of times what happens is people get so fearful of reaching out, or they do reach out and they get that rejection, not knowing that that person is just ignorant. And I remember when my grandma always said ignorant, I was like, grandma, what you mean? But knowing what ignorant means and knowing that ignorant is just not knowing. They
Yeah,
just don't
it's a lack
know.
of knowledge. Yeah.
Right, it's a lack of knowledge. And if you keep going, they may trust you and jump in. And
Mhm.
over these 7 years, I've realized as I keep going, I don't necessarily have to sell people, because people buy people, not product. And so the fact that I've kept going and it keeps working because I keep
Exactly.
talking to more people,
Exactly.
and I keep going into that circle, and I get the training, and I get uplifted, and I get my mind together, and I realize that just because I haven't talked to the right person, and this is another thing, John, a lot of people don't know that their network sucks.
Yeah.
Like they don't know it because they've never had to use it. And
Yeah.
so we say your network is your net worth. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people, really, you should kind of diversify your circle
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
Like, because
You
you
got
have
too
people who
much of
will
the
go,
bad stuff.
you have people who will go to the club with you and
Yeah.
bring a bottle, but you
Yeah.
don't have people who will invest in
Right.
themselves and in you. And
Right.
that's crazy. And I think that's a big thing for people having that reality when they first come in. It's like, oh my gosh, like, what do you mean? But then when you can get past that, everything is different and you're just in a whole better world. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it definitely sounds more emotional availability, which is a good skill for anything that you're walking through. Emotional availability, but like you said, to be brave. I mean, just watching you guys, you have to be brave because you got to be willing to talk to strangers. You got to be willing to take that no. You got to be consistent. I think that is above all, no matter what you do, if you are going to be successful, you have to be consistent. So if you have one day that you reach out, Let that be your one day and build your way up, but be
Yeah.
consistent. One thing that I know about you is you're you have a high level of personal accountability. Now, yeah, we all talk about, hey, the why. I got whys too, but the fact is, I know a lot of people who have whys but don't have discipline. So you know what I mean. If you don't have discipline, you have to put guardrails in your life, i.e., Rachel, the money team group team as a whole, that is going to be like, hey, you slipping this week. Hey, what happened with X? Because when you put yourself in a vulnerable position, well, you wanted to level up. Well, they're helping you level up by asking you what happened with Susie or what happened with the training. What's going on? Life is this, and yeah, it takes some things. So, was there ever any moments where you were going through where you're like, hey, I'm not quite seeing. I want to level up from an income perspective, but it's taking a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm almost there, but it seems like when you get closer, it seems like it takes forever to get across that hump. So, how did you kind of work through that and keep yourself going? Just to understand from the framework of, hey, it's a journey. You know what I mean? There's a process, it's a journey, things change. How do you keep yourself going throughout that process in this newer space? You're kind of out on faith when you're in that far.
Yeah. Yeah, you have which jump do we want to talk about? Like a couple hundred, a couple thousand, tens of thousands? Like, what we talk about here?
That'll be a good place to start. So you kind of mentioned how you made a couple hundred, but when you really were like, hey, I'm getting there, but I can almost get it to where it's making my monthly bills, but it's trying, you know what I mean? Because as I understand it, it's a little bit difficult because you're building in those first few stages. Because you're building is foundation. But then, like a business, once you hit a certain point, momentum starts to help, you know what I mean? Just like an investment, compound interest starts to help, you know what I'm saying, you with your work. You don't stop your work, but you just have a little bit more hands in the push. So probably when you were working to get it to where it was paying your monthly bills.
So initially it was gratitude. I was ungrateful. So that was the first thing, being grateful for what I was getting and understanding that I was in a business. So even if I don't see the reward that I want to see right now, that doesn't mean the reward is not coming. Like you said, like the compounding, that the consistency compounds, period. If you keep going, eventually you'll see more than what you work for.
Okay.
And what I do. That's inevitable. It's inevitable. The seeds will eventually grow, and it'll grow far beyond anything you could think or ask. That's what happened. But it's a gratitude. I was ungrateful. And so initially it was becoming more grateful for what I had. So, if my check is even just $30, God, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Like, it's a $30 increase. I learned this, I learned that. So that was the first thing. And then remaining grateful. But I had to grow my mind, and I had to learn to lean and depend on Jesus, like, period. Like, I just had to learn and depend on Jesus because, like you said, it is a faith walk. So when you put in entrepreneurship, puts you in a place to where you allow God to be God. And so when I went to the place of making like salary money, like an extra $2,000, $2,500 a month, it was me believing that I could do it. Because I mean, I didn't know many people who were bringing in like that much money. I'm still working a full-time job. At that point, Brianna and I were planning the wedding. And so I had to believe it, and I had to believe it, and I had to like focus on it and tunnel vision and really putting my mind in a place of, you can do this. And so and then top down, of course, helping other people. But it was the belief and the gratitude, and trusting that God would see me through.
Mm-hmm. So talking about just your routines that you develop, obviously you're Mrs. Wiggs in shining lights now, but and your habits and your schedule definitely looks a lot different. What were things you were doing? Because as I've studied it, you know what I mean, it's early in the early days you used to always kind of teach that, hey, get to diamond, which is that first leadership rank, if I understand my homework well.
Mm-hmm.
get to diamond, and that's where you begin the stages of starting to print money. That
Yeah.
was something that I always used to hear you teach and kind of preach. What was the habits, or what was the kind of routines that you had developed in from that time getting yourself to diamond that got you there, and then what is kind of your habits now?
So the habits that got me there was talking to any and everybody, because I understood the more people that I helped, the more likely I would get there. And then, of course, back then, we partied. And so, having all the parties and making sure I launch everybody and help them tap into their own network initially, and getting them wins, because people, they feel good when they win, right? And if they can get just a small win, it'll keep them coming back. And so that was probably the biggest thing for me. And getting to the place where I could print money, that meant I could regulate my check. So I was
Right,
already in a place, regulate my check more, right?
right,
Because I was already regulating my check. But diamond meant that I was able to print money. Like I had those
right,
bonuses, that new leadership bonus, and able to really print money. And then double diamond was even crazier, because I understood the even more money that I could print. And so um it was just a matter of me just making a decision. You got to make a decision.
right,
You make a decision and you get it done based on the blueprint that's before you. And so I
right,
had a blueprint. I knew exactly what I needed to do in order to get it done. And then casting that vision to the people who are with me, because if I can get to diamond, guess what? So can you. If I can get there, then you can get there. So it's a matter of understanding that I'll go before you. Like, I'll be the guinea pig. I'll put my neck out there. If I don't succeed, whatever, but always willing to fail, because if anything, you'll learn, right? And then you just jump back in, and that's just how gracious, because I'm still gonna get paid while
right,
I'm trying. It's something that I love. Like, you're still gonna get paid while you're trying.
right.
Um, which is something that I love and appreciate. When it went to the next level, like really taking myself to well, do you want me to go into that?
Yeah,
Yeah, so going into the higher ranks, it was more so, it was the same thing. How many people can I help? Because I say this, I don't know if you and Brian have ever talked about this, but when I went triple diamond, the reason why in triple diamonds, we're in a group setting, so I can say
yeah,
this in here, because we have to insert our income disclosure statement. But I'm not gonna say numbers. When I went triple diamond, the checks that Brian and I saw, they blew my mind. And I know
right,
that you kind of maybe have an idea of those checks.
yeah. Oh, the poster on your Facebook, just in case people want to go back.
Yeah.
You go back a few years and see, because you guys were
Yeah,
up
because I
close
actually
in
put
real
numbers
time.
back then, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah, you were.
can't do that no more.
Yeah,
But it was crazy, the amount of money that we saw. And at that moment, John, I could have literally, because I had built up a residual team. I
right,
could have just, helped little here, little there, little here, little there. That's when we first started becoming a top income earning team. But I was blown away at Brianna and we're sitting here, what, 27,
yeah,
26, and we making this kind of money. I
right,
was like, I want everybody to experience this. And me being a single mom who was robbing Peter to pay Paul,
mhm,
and now I'm in a position to where, like, I could pay. Now I wish you had this group back then, because I would have been debt free, because I'd have paid all my debt off. But I could, like, one check, I could go. It's like
yeah. My
winning the
passion was
lotto.
way.
I won the lotto this month. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
We going to Turks. Let's just drop these 8 stacks.
yeah.
Like, it was nothing. Like, it was
Another
like, I'll get the
Italy
money
going
back next month. I wanted people to experience this. I
on.
could not believe that here I am, went to school, paid all this money, um, that I'm paying for the rest of my life,
Right,
and it does not give me this return.
right,
And so I wanted to show people how to do the exact same thing. And so you pull out this blueprint and you go for the next level, because you want other people to experience the freedom that you're beginning to experience.
yeah,
And that is why I'm here today. I truly believe that's why I'm still here today,
yeah,
is because I like to and it is still the diamond level that
right,
I give people the ability. I help people give their self the ability to
right,
print money. And so even with the girl, we had a girl in our squad just go diamond last month, and she's only 24. At
right,
25, 24, 25. And she's in a place where she's able to print money. And she's always wanted to be an entrepreneur. She has a college degree, but her college degree could not pay her this amount and allow her to have the freedom that she has at the same time. And so you pull out it, for me, it's helping other people, that period. It's helping them, but that's my heart. Like, I'm not here. I understand that more money means helping more people. When I first began, I just wanted the money. Now I understand that when I help people, you've heard the saying, when you help a lot of people get what they want, you get what you want. It's
that's
real.
how I make my money. You know what I mean?
That's
I'm
real.
Other people millionaires and stuff. I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna be fine. You know what I mean? I want to help you. You know what I mean? I want to get you in a good spot. But so there's a couple things that you mentioned as I kind of be it the wrap, because I don't. There's one thing I want to mention about your product, not your product, but your projects. How this kind of opened the door, because again, things have went a different way. You start dreaming, things start coming to fruition. But you talked about being brave. You talked about being consistent. You talked about even how to get started. What that comes. You have to be willing. You have to be open. No matter again what line of work you want to go into. However you want to serve people, however you want to do your skills and desire, just because whatever it is, you don't feel like because you have a certain job or your focus is in a certain area that you may not think makes a good career, doesn't write the ability of how much income you could potentially earn. That's always going to be your option. But it does take a decision. You will have to change it. There will be some challenges along the way. So the next thing I want to think, kind of go to was before I transition was it works. Diamond is the first leadership level, and again, like you said, it causes you to help people. Now, when you were 24 and stuff, you're ace. Shout out to DST's eye. So naturally, you have some leadership characteristics. But so often, the leaders that are called don't always look like they're supposed to. And if you follow a lot of your, for people who follow the Bible, for people who follow anybody, but the Bible gives pointed example. There were people who were outright sinners that had slaves. They, they weren't meant to be king. David was in the back tending sheep before he got called. Leadership is something that you are called to in the position. And when you get to a point of, hey, I got to help other people, that's a different skill set. So first you learn how to help get yourself there. And then it seems to me Diamond is kind of that first real good taste of, hey, I'm good at getting myself here, but it'll limit me if I don't get good at helping other people get here. You know what I mean? So that's a different skill set because you're talking to different people. You're trying to help other people be leaders to other people. So your message cascades differently. So I just thought that was kind of worth mentioning. So you talked about freedom. And I really encourage you guys, if you haven't, check out our YouTube channel. Check out Rachel has a YouTube channel. Rachel has it's probably about 3 or 4 different sites. There's so many different ways you can get her. She does smoothie time like 2-3 times a day on Facebook, so you can catch her, so you can see a little bit of her lifestyle. But she is free to do not just at work. She does a lot of different things. And even there's a girl talk thing now where you're really diving in with women and helping them really transform their lives. So see, I follow. Trust me, I got. So, and then Rachel had not 1 but 2 books. She leveled up. So the first book, you guys missed it. Well, you didn't miss it because I did a live, but last year in December we gave out 3 or 4 journals to help you guys get started. Christmas 2.0 is now on pre-sale. I can buy the pre-sale. I'll probably buy my case. I'm saving up. I'm probably gonna get y'all, send you an invoice in December to give out. But these projects, this business opens you up to do other things.
Absolutely.
And now you're helping different people that aren't necessarily connected to the business at all. It's something you do, but you spoke at high schools, you ministered in different ways. Talk a little bit about, number one, the projects, but when you talk about freedom, it's not just, oh, I want to spend time with my kids. Oh, I want to spend time with just control my schedule. It's there are other things I'm meant to do. You know what I mean? And that's what we're talking about, because you mentioned earlier the why evolved. And this is a little bit part of the evolution, because if I can pretty much guarantee in 7-8 years ago, if you asked Rachel, hey, you gonna put out a journal and you gonna talk to some people about, yeah, man, somebody it wasn't our ski low. That wasn't something we were looking at. So talk a little bit about that freedom aspect, but then also about the projects that you have, and any links that you do talk about. I'll have Rachel send them to me. If you're on YouTube, we'll make sure that in the description below. But if you're in the Facebook group, we'll make sure I send out a post on Friday to get you all that information where you can support her. But talk a little bit about that freedom, and then those other projects that you've been able to venture off in.
Yeah, so freedom, freedom of time gives you time to, it's given me time to think, it's crazy the life that Breon and I have been through, and you make a choice. You either run from it or you lean in. And I always tell everybody that you need to lean in. You lean into the discomfort. And so my moments of leaning in is what brought me to Jesus Talk, and having the ability to lean in. Because if I worked a full-time job, I wouldn't have had that time to just disconnect, that time to lean and depend on Jesus, okay?
Right.
Like completely just shutting down and hearing his voice and things like that. And so this has given me the freedom to be able to do something like that. But Jesus Talk came from, which is the initial, the original journal. It came from my own journaling experience. God had blessed us far beyond anything we could think or ask. Like we was making money that we never even expected to make. We never signed up for this. I just wanted an extra $500 a month. And, we got in this place of, God, I want more, but I'm in this place in between, because it's like, shouldn't I be okay with what I have? And just not even really understanding God's word and his desire for me, because of me listening to people more than listening to him. And so I began to journal from that billion-dollar friend, right? Listening to her podcast. And she was like, I start with 5 things I'm grateful for in the morning. And I was like, okay, well, let me try that, right? So I tried it. And then God just began to deal with me on doing more and really getting to know him, and really putting myself in a posture of where he wanted it to be. And so in 2019, I released the first journal, to where I was sharing my personal journaling experience and what had been working for me to increase in gratitude. And as I created this life of gratitude and talking to God more than I was talking to people, and writing down my feelings instead of speaking them. Because we know life and death is in the power of our tongue. And so when you speak negatively, even if you're just complaining or I'm just saying, like you're actually manifesting, you're causing things to manifest that you don't desire. And that is how the enemy takes over you. And so I put myself in this position where I started writing down these things and submitting it to Christ instead of submitting it to people, and it changed my life. And so I decided to share that with other people. And then Jesus Talk 2.0, as I become consistent, disciplined, just in the heart of that, things have evolved. And so that second journal came out, where it actually has a 22-day outline in it, where it helps people be consistent with their Jesus time and with that time of submitting things back to him, as they should. So that was big. And then Godly Girlfriends, it's a platform where we come together and we are talking about the God things instead of the good things, okay? Because there's a lot of good advice out here, but it's not God advice. And so my Godly Girlfriend, Keisha, completely changed our relationship changed my life. Like it changed my life to be in a position with somebody who can caused me to feel the conviction that I needed to feel, because I wanted to do the God things. And you can have that struggle, that pull of, but I still want to go to the club, but I still want to listen to that music, but he fine though. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a platform that allows you to be you, because we love you regardless, because that's who God is. But be in a place where you feel safe enough to make that transition to where you don't feel alone.
And that's, you hit on two things. First, tackling the Jesus talk. So when you came out with it, obviously, again, me and Chief, we engaged, and he was saying that Rachel journals. I journal. I just don't do a formal book and things of that nature because I'm more about concise. I'm more about
Yeah.
give me a little notepad on my phone, and I'm going through it. I write my ideas. But one thing I did understand was in every podcast, in every person who, any CEO, any VP, anybody who's done well in life, with no matter
They
what
all journal. Yes, they do.
what area like they're in, they all journal.
They
And
all
to your
journal.
point, when you talk about the new popularity of the importance of mental health, that's the reason. It's
Yeah.
a business aspect to it
Yes,
because
it is.
entrepreneurs, and when you read, you get a lot of ideas, so you're getting your ideas out. But the emotional benefit of being able to journal, it helps you manage yourself, your emotions. It helps you develop quality relationships.
Clarity too.
Yeah,
Clarity. All of
it's a
that.
lot of different things. So, and then the vast thing about it, kind of like what I like about Facebook, is the memories. You know what I mean? So you go back
Yes.
4 or 5 years, or you got a teenage son or teenage daughter, and one I'm in a space where I question my mom, like, I really want to know what you were like at 27 and 30, 37 and 32. What were you thinking? And well, son, I don't remember. Well, now it's more, if you're journaling these things and if you're putting out videos or whatever you're doing, your child can actually
Yes,
connect
we
with
can.
you where you are. Because I
Closer.
guarantee
Yep.
you, if you read that journal or if you look at that video, automatically your mind is going to be like, this is why I was writing this. This is what was going on in my time. And it's not to keep bad time. It's just more to understand the growth. It's understanding a
Yeah.
lot of yourself and understanding your journey. And Rachel, you've been married five years. Ooh, I'm
Yeah.
mad at me for not knowing. Five, I think. Five. I think it's five. Or it's about,
Listen, I think it's 5.
yeah, I think it's five. Please don't communicate me from the wedding party,
That'd be
but
so funny. It'll
uh,
be 6 years this year.
yeah, 6 years. So you're about to come up on what's clinically detailed, the lull. In the 7 to 10 year stretch, seventh inning stretch in baseball is harder.
Mm.
In marriage, that's where people have gotten comfortable. 5 years
Yeah.
is hard. That's what people say. Hey, 5 years marriage is
Hmm.
hard. But that 7 to 10 year is the challenge. Is, oh man, I think I got it under control. I think I know this person. I'm comfortable. I'm starting to second guess where I am in life and should I even be married to this person at this point. And there's a lot of things that come with understanding that journal, that tool in your life. And even if you got it not for business, just for self. Because
Hmm.
again, yeah, you're in the Money Talks group. I talk a little bit about emotions, but I'm here about really threading into you the importance of your money and putting everything in front of you that you didn't know was there so that you can understand what decisions you need to make. Godly Girlfriends is a space where emotionally, if you're single or if you're married or you're going through a challenging time or whatever, that's more of a space where, hey, I'm not just human, but there are other humans that struggle. They might struggle differently, but we're kind of struggling in the same space. But we're not, there's no judgment, but we're here to try to work ourselves through it, not to overcome and be able to help somebody else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we want to do well, but us doing well helps somebody else. So you got to have, again, to your point of that circle, that space, you got to have these different pockets to help you manage yourself because you have an emotional side, you have a physical side, health side, you have a financial side, you have a
It's true.
spiritual side. You got to
Hmm.
have pockets of people in all these
Yeah.
spaces. And you do got to have a fun side. But if all your people are in fun, or if all your people are in spiritual, or if all your people are in financial, it's not giving you the proper balance of healthiness that you need to be a good individual. And that Jesus talk thing was just transformative because again, you're sharing your journey, you're sharing your ins and outs, and then again, I think this will help. So you level up with 2.0. So what's different in 2.0? What changed?
Hmm.
Can they still get one if they like one?
Hmm.
How does that work? Did you be like, hey, one?
Yeah. So you can get one. One has so the 2.0 has smaller lines, so it's more effective for space. It has a viral binding instead of just the regular binding. It has the template, so it actually has 22 days, whereas Jesus Talk 1 has the Jesus Talk, the original, has just 7 days of the template and then blank lines. But a lot of people love the template, and so they asked for more days. And honestly, it takes 22, 21, but I say the 22nd day to actually make a habit. And so it just becomes a part of who you, well, 66 days is when it becomes a part of who you are, 22 days to make a habit. And so it helps people create a new habit of journaling and going through that template. It has the template and then an empty page to write on, and then a template. And then at the very end of it, there's a few pages to write on. And so you could definitely tell a big difference between the two. I still love the original Jesus Talk. I saw people who have been ordering it. Yeah, people have still been ordering it. It is on sale right now for $13, whereas normally it was 15. And then Jesus Talk is available for pre-order for $20. And I think there's about 20 spots left, to where the first 100 people who ordered it, they get a free pen to go along with it. It's a diamond glitter pen to go with it. So
right, and she giving you
yeah,
the space to
yeah.
write.
Yeah. Then you got your pen to write out with. And so I'm excited. I really am excited, because the things that I've heard about people just creating this new habit, because a lot of people want to journal, they just don't know how to do it. And so this
Yeah.
gives you a template on how to do it. And then if you figure out what works for you after you try out this template, then awesome. As long as you're journaling, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and that's the point. Our world needs what you have in you to give.
Yeah,
And if we don't, then I mean, for me, you're robbing us. You're robbing us of how we can be a
that's,
better world, because
that's
you didn't
very
reach your
true.
full greatness. Your greatness is needed, because that's what helps. And just because your greatness is needed doesn't mean, again, you can't make a viable income. You can't have your passion. And again, I mean, Rachel, I've known you for years. Our goals change, our desires change.
They do.
I mean, Rachel can tell you things about me. Like, I wonder what his goals was then, but or what he was trying to get at. But now, right. We Jesus talked to you and then talked to me. It was like, hey, I don't know, keep up.
Listen.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where this is just another tool to help you
Yes.
be around. So again, how do people kind of connect with you? So you have It Works. Don't know if they're setting appointments with you directly, or do you have a team that does that now? Or I'm just saying, I don't want to put things out. How do people
Yeah.
connect with you for that?
Right.
Yes, she has a YouTube channel. Do you guys notice the theme here? Pretty much everybody I've had has a YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Money Talks, but Rachel has a YouTube channel now. On her YouTube channel, she's also talking about the business. She's bringing on phenomenal leaders, and I will tell you, yeah, when I'm up at 1 a.m. and working, I'm listening to tips from the top. I'm listening to things. I mean, the things
They got some good stuff.
those podcasts and videos, it doesn't just apply to It Works. That's what I'm talking about, bro. So even if you're here, man, I'm not really into that work, but I guarantee you, if you apply what we talked about today to what you're doing, you'll grow, you'll go, and you'll make more income. But she talks about that. She also talks about the leadership aspect. She also talks about onboarding. Now, I will tell you, Rachel's a little bit special to me. I don't know enough of this information on everybody, but there's a lot of things to you. And then the one thing I do like is she's an African-American female, really trying to empower everyone. And right now, one of the hottest things in here is the African-American female entrepreneur. That is one of the fastest growing spaces in the economy right now. So how can they find you? Website, Jesus Talk, where is that at? Plan to get one. You might need one just to get to two. Get both of them. Give it to a friend. Buy a great Christmas gift, great birthdays, great back to school for a college student. Great, you know what I'm saying? And I won't pub everybody's stuff, but I really love what she's doing, and I really like that product. Honestly, that's why I'll continue to support. But how can they find you? How can they find the products and then the YouTube channel there?
So RachelWhigham.com will actually connect them with everything,
Oh wow.
including my website, including my Instagram, my Facebook, Jesus Talk. It works, whether it's the money side or the product side. My family, RachelWhigham.com. It's just my first last name.com. That'll connect you to everything.
And so again, she'll send that to me. If you're in the Money Talks group, I'll definitely post that info for you so you can go connect with her, go connect, browse, connect to all those different resources, the book, the Godly Girlfriends, the YouTube channel, all those different things. If you
Yep.
watch on the YouTube channel, watch one more time. Let's level up. She just got monetized there. So one more thing. And then uh yeah, if you're interested in the business, check it out. It could be the thing that could move you and your family into a different space. This may be your time. It may be challenging, you know what I mean? But this may
It
be
will
your
be.
time. This may be the time for you. So I would definitely encourage you. It's a great opportunity. I've always said, hey, there are things that I don't necessarily do, but I have friends in pretty much every space in the financial sector. They all do it. So I know people who have been successful. I know people who have not been successful. So it's not the public, it's more to help you understand the opportunity is there. It does take some work. They'll walk alongside you. They'll
Yes.
kind of teach you the way, and they'll stick with you. You need
Yeah.
you need to bring your A1 110% every day, and they'll take you the rest of the way. Other than that, again, in the description, you'll find all that information on YouTube. I appreciate all 1,200 plus of you. Invite your friends, invite your family to the group. Like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. And until next, guys, we'll definitely be back next week.
Yay,
Thank
thank
you guys.
you. Thank you, John.